It does strike me as
Dive.
very
I'm Steve Deaser.
And I'm Terry. Starting it off here, we're going to talk about the setting and the story of Dragonflight.
We've got this great expansion, exciting pre-rendered
I love
just watch. So let's talk about the setting for Dragonflight, the Dragon Isles.
Dragon Isles have been
I love it,
for a
Rock
long
Boy!
time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place where the dragons
I'm glad they're doing
came
this
from
deep dive
long
too, though.
ago, but we never knew much more than that.
We're going to this place that is kind of the
We deserve it.
broodlands
Hey, that
of
guy
the
follows me.
Dragonflights, the place where they nested, where they built their civilization.
Gregory?
The Dragon Isles was the center of the Dragon's kingdom when the world was young and the mortal races were just starting to form kingdoms of their own. But when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the
That's just 'cause you're
explosion
awesome,
of
Gal.
the Well of Eternity, broke the world.
Literal sundering of the
I followed him
continents
at
of
some point. He
Azeroth.
probably
And
just was nice.
because of the breaking of the world, that magic kind of drained away and the land went dormant. So they had to leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the pre-render, they left behind some Titan Watchers to look over the land. And
Oh, yeah,
when
where are the
someday
Isles?
They hoped that elemental energy
If I
would resurge
remember
once
from the
again
map,
and draw the dragons
it's
home
to
and
the
reestablish their
south.
kingdom.
And that's when the message goes out to the flights and they feel it in their bones.
No, north
Now
of
it's the
Pandaria,
time
but it's
for
like
the
in
sky to
between
light
Broken
up
Isles
with the
and
colors of the
Pandaria,
aspects
if I
once
remember correctly.
again, and for
Kinda
Alex
like the center.
Straza and the others to come home. But
Like
the
right
land has
near
changed
the
a lot in
sundering
all these
area,
thousands
the
of years
Maelstrom?
they've been away, and
I think
some
so.
very old threats.
Yeah, I was kind
have
of thinking
awakened
like
as
south
well.
of the Maelstrom,
We're
maybe.
looking into the culture of dragons as they exist
that would
in
make sense.
Warcraft.
Dragons,
There's
as
a
we
pretty
know them
solid
today,
space
were
there.
very different
There's
in the
also
early
a good
past,
chunk
the
of
early
space
history
between
of
the
Azeroth.
Eastern
They were
Kingdoms
much
and
more
Pandaria.
primitive, much more savage. What we now know as proto-dragons.
And then some of the dragons were
Or
empowered to
Northrend
become
and
the
Eastern
aspects.
Kingdoms,
The
there's
green
another
flight,
big gap.
red flight, blue flight, bronze flight.
I would be way
black flight,
okay
each with
if
unique
they
powers,
brought
each with the
back
ability to protect the world and
the old
There'll be
gods.
lots of
These
analysis.
pillars
They'll
of
explain
draconic
everything
power
cards. Be
appointed to
patient.
defend Azeroth from threats within and without.
Dragons used that power both for good, in the case of most of the aspects, but also for nefarious reasons in the case of the Black Dragonflight.
Each with
led
unique
by
powers
Nefarian,
and
who would become
currencies.
Deathwing.
And what we will find in Dragonflight is that some of these ancient divisions
You're
pretty
go
current
on this
deep.
card-
And
or
so
not
it
card,
begs
sorry,
the
Gal.
question, where do we go from here? If this is an opportunity to reclaim their legacy,
Huh.
to be the protectors, as the cinematic mentioned, that they once were.
To do that, they're going to need the help of our heroes, our players, to come to the Dragon Isles with them and face some of these reawakening challenges, because it's not just that this land is
The Dragon Isles
peacefully
originally a
waiting for
group
the
of
dragons
islands,
to return and
6570
reclaim it.
raid located
There's
north
those
of
old
Lordaeron,
enemies
west of
that have
Kel'Thuzad.
awakened as well.
Yeah.
One of those being
know that.
a race of kind of elemental half-giants, the Jarden.
The Dragon Isles isn't just populated by dragons or just by the Jarden. There's also many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles that have been here either just recently or for a while,
Stony
including a
Mammoth.
fan favorite coming back, the Tuskar.
That's going to be awesome. We've got other cultures
Allied
there
race
as well in
incoming.
the Dragon Isles. We're going to find out about a civilization of
Easy
centaurs
hunters,
that predates the
breathe.
ones that arose on Kalimdor much later,
And some of our favorite
The Tuskar!
characters that we've seen over the last few
Yes.
expansions, such as Rathian.
and whether he's ready to step up into a leadership role, or if there are other alternatives out there that would be better suited to the job of being the aspect of the Black Dragon.
And I'm just gonna say it now, the art team
One
has
thing
fucking
we-
killed it, like
Players are
always.
going to be really excited about this expansion is the new playable race,
Oh, I'm
the Drakthir.
so excited
right.
for that
This
race.
is something that Neltharion, before he was Deathwing, before he went
Okay.
full crazy world dragon, that he put into motion.
Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so, in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility,
That-
their wisdom,
What?
and combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal races had. And he wanted to use that to
Wasn't
create
Nefarian the one
the
that was
ideal soldier
experimenting?
in his mind, the Drakthir. Exploration is really one of the key themes of this expansion. We're going to be going to this ancient place that the dragons left behind long ago. So we've made these huge zones with all kinds of places to delve into and find little treasures and little secrets tucked away. It's going to be a lot of fun for players to be exploring these landscapes.
And there's so much architectural history and how clearly aspirational was the kingdom of the dragons and how it lost so much. And the
man.
themes of trying to return
The
to
art
that,
team.
to try to find your legacy, to try to figure out who
Mic
you
check,
were
1, 2.
before everything went
Yeah.
awry. But there's questions,
So,
thematic
test.
questions of What does it mean to
Guard
be
ears.
true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The
Mic
dragons
check,
have had to learn those lessons just like the mortal kingdoms have had to. And I think that's one of the reasons why the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again.
Yeah, I know you
as
can hear me. I
protectors
was
of
trying to
Azeroth.
adjust
We're
my
helping the dragons because
mic
the
sensitivity, and
dragons
I
have
thought
helped
the
us in the
test
past
didn't
too.
say that.
So by using
Sorry.
the Explorers League and the Reliquary together, that allows us to delve into some of that history.
And when I look, upon the Dragon Isles in all of its visual splendor, I get so excited for the prospect of a truly Azerothian adventure alongside Kalecgos, along with Rathian, Ebonhorn, with Ysera's daughter Marithra, as each one of them is trying to find their own flight. I am taken by the exploration and the potential for adventure and just new horizons within this world.
There's going to be old stories from that time past, that history that only the dragons knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
Oh,
It really
cool to
feels
bring
like
back
just a
Ebonhorn.
breath of
Okay.
fresh air.
This
So now we're
means,
going to turn
Oh,
things over
yay.
to some of our colleagues. We'll
Favorite
take you on that
character
deep
from
dive
Legion.
into the locations.
I love
guys,
Ebonhorn.
this means that we're gonna get a face come at us.
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Josh,
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Gary.
Thanks, Ify.
and we're part of the teams
problem.
that are building the first two zones.
I thought it was
Encounter
further
the Dragon
south,
Isles,
but
the
that's
Waking Shore,
Zandalar.
and the Yanaran Plains. The very first zone in
It's also on a
Dragonflight
fit.
you're going to come to is the Waking Shores.
Definitely
It's
worth a look.
wild, untamed land. It's waking up around you too, and the elements are just going crazy.
The art team again has hit it out of the park.
You'll see like a lava mountain flowing in through the beach, giant proto-dragons swooping down, gobbling up members of your expedition.
We have such rife opportunities to show elementals rising up because of the crazy magic that's flying around.
The one of the things I love is just how you get to the Dragon Isles, right? So you're gonna get on your boat in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and the first thing you do is sail between like the dragon ruin architectures. The boats come right alongside each other. You can jump from one boat to the other and just start causing havoc on the other faction's boat.
For those who love PvP, this is a great opportunity for war mode.
It's free for all out there. It's gonna be great. But it's okay. There's an innkeeper on the beach, so that if you're in
God.
that situation and you don't want to be in war mode anymore, you can just hop out right there.
The Reliquary
Yeah.
and the Explorers League are working together.
The Horde and Alliance are setting an expedition together. It's
Get
not
off
the
my
military,
boat!
it's not the soldiers.
Fun of me?
This is the scientists, the settlers, exploring this new
War mode
land. So
day
it's a lot
one.
more
This
optimistic
is
tone.
Mystic
One of my
Area
favorite things about the
2.0.
Waking Shores is the Red Dragonflight, led by Queen Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder. They have the mandate of nurturing and protecting all life, which means Horde and Alliance, Gorloks, trolls, everybody.
fuck's a
So they take
Gorlok?
that duty seriously. When the Horde and the Alliance come to the Waking Shores, they want to be there
There's
to
that
help
artwork.
guide the people through the new land and welcome them.
Such a badass.
But they're not the only one in the Waking Shores.
We have the ancestral home of the Black Dragonflight there too, which has fallen on tough times since Deathwing's descent. And so Rathian's coming over to the Isles with us, and he's gonna try and come to terms with the state of the Dragonflight, which is a few loyal Draconids and Dragon Spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the Dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the
There he
dragons that are
is.
coming back to the Dragon Isles, but also their
Yeah,
longtime
they're
rival, the
watching
Jarden.
quick, so they're a
I
few
love the
seconds
Jardins so
behind.
much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma, and when the Waking Shores and the Dragon Isles went to slumber, they also slumbered. They're back now, and they are ready to raise chaos.
Yeah, they're massive. They're riding giant
That's our
lava
first raid,
mammoths,
probably.
parading around, just stomping on your face.
Be my
And
guest.
they
love
were
this.
the enemies of the Dragonfly for so long. They fought against
Yeah,
the
they'd
Red
be the
Dragonfly,
first
hunted
raid or a
dragons down,
self-contained
and
story
they're
to
really
the
taking this
leveling.
opportunity to rise up. As the Red Dragonflight have the mandate of nurturing life, they don't want to just stomp out the Jarden completely, but they want to make sure that they don't have the power
lava
to
mammoth.
affect those around them negatively, to make sure they don't
Lava
go on a
Mammoth
rampage
Mountain
and
is gonna
destroy
be
the
legit.
ecosystem that has been created here.
And so those are awesome things in the Waking Shore. But Steph, there really is only one right answer for the best thing in Waking Shores, right?
What?
This is true. Ducks.
Oh my god.
We finally have those web feet hooligans in our game. We cracked the technology.
They
We've
can
got them
figure
in.
it out. They
Yep.
can fly.
You should be proud.
Thank you.
It's gonna be awesome.
The Onaran Plains come right after the Waking Shores. It's so breathtaking at first glance.
Duck.
The
love
Onaran
this.
plains are
I
big,
love the
wide
ducks.
open plains.
Du-
And the player is going to be constricted a little
Oh,
bit.
shit, it
and
just
then
got
you see
quackers
this
up in
bigger
here.
contrast
Look
of the
at all
zone.
those
We don't always
chickens.
get that opportunity, that cinematic moment where the player can
I
have a
love this,
framed
man.
view when they see this area.
Come out and you got that postcard
Shouldn't the
shot
duck just
of
be a
the
primordial
plains.
seagull?
And then you see this giant fire proto-dragon breathing fire, and a herd of centaur like harpoon down the proto-dragon and crash into the ground. And the first thing you get to do is go help them kill the proto-dragon. Like, how cool is that?
Who is Onara?
Onara is the wild god of the wind. And she's appeared before as like this big spirit eagle. She's the one who guided the centaur to the Dragon Isles many, many years ago. She blessed them, took their caravan across, and then showed them the plains.
How fun at the beginning of this expansion was exploring the culture.
Getting
of
How
the
to Train Your
The
Dragon
centaur
vibes,
are
dude.
these
I love
mighty,
it.
awesome hunters that, back when they first came to the Dragon Isles, they fought the green dragons all day long. Eventually, they realized that we're strong, you're strong. Maybe we should stop decimating each other's people. We'll make peace, we'll make an agreement. You guys hang out in the groves, and the centaur will hang out in the plains. But now, the dragons have been gone for 10,000 years. And the centaur have come so
Survival
far
hunter.
since then. And they've been here,
Not a
and
real
they've been
hunter.
existing and developing
Oh, hey,
their culture.
just to let
they
you guys
all came
know,
over as
if you
one
wanna
clan
have a
led by
specific
the
name for
mighty
your dragon,
Maruk and Tira,
make it
and
now.
they founded a new life here. So
Oh,
if you
good
want to
point.
get across, you have to follow their rules and their traditions. You have to earn their trust. You are the first outsiders to come in generations
And
upon
make sure you
generations.
look into that character.
The centaur might rule
that someone
the
else
open
can't take it
plains,
later
but
on.
the green dragons make their home
Start making
in
characters
the
with
groves.
cards.
Those groves
Right.
are absolutely gorgeous.
Icy scales.
And how
you
great
go.
a job
If
it
it's not
is that
thick.
we have, where I can take all of this beautiful artwork and build these beautiful fantasy groves, high fantasy. We want to do lots of things with an open plain,
pretty.
and we want to be creative with that. But we're restraining ourselves by letting the zone sing, letting the horizon tell the
I
story.
just reserved
We certainly
Tiamat.
couldn't have done that in vanilla WoW.
The zones are so big,
Smart
you
boy.
can see so far, especially in Onaran Plains. So we talked to the engineers, and we actually increased that distance.
It's
It spurs you
2.0.
on to want to adventure and look through the zone and explore everything.
I got Tiamat, baby!
We have all these conflicts with the dragonflights. There's
It's
missing
with two Ts,
dragons,
but
there's
still.
battles, there's so much crazy stuff happening, but that's not really all
Yeah,
we're
I'm sure
doing. There's so much extra fun activities for people to do.
I got Tiamat!
Is that you need to figure out exactly what's going on and help solve all the problems that are just sprouting up everywhere.
We're just really excited to tell a story that's grounded in Azeroth and exploration. There's so much more to talk about. But now, we're gonna have some folks talking about the next two zones that players are gonna experience in the Dragon Isles.
I love it. I love this. Love it! I love all this, bro.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate.
I'm Christy.
I'm Kate.
I'm Sean. We're going to talk today about Valdrassus and the Azure Span. So Azure Span is going to be the third zone that players adventure through, and it's one of our biggest zones that we've done in the Dragonflight
Valdrassus.
to date.
We knew it was going to be like the largest visual elevation change, and it really started with this great concept.
That means
art.
the Chrome
First,
Dragons
we're
are going to
taking
be
a
the
look at
final
design.
aisle?
We kept coming back to one of our favorite
Whoa!
zones,
We're gonna
was
fight the
Prison Hills.
Infinite!
And we really wanted to take that, but wowify it more.
Oh,
and I don't know if
man.
you've ever been up to the Bay Area, but
I
in the
love that.
morning, that coastal fog comes in and dips down into the redwoods,
it.
and that sun shines through. That's really what we wanted to encapsulate with this forest. And not only we have redwoods, we've got all different types of trees. Eventually, it'll break open into this wide open tundra that's just golden and red, and you'll reach up to another level of elevation where you get to see the snow. The majority of the zone is covered in snow and ice. We have giant frozen waterfalls, ice rivers as far as the eye can see. Sean, I know in the forest we can expect our first.
When we get into the
We
system.
have
Oh, I
a
see a
small
new
group that
elemental.
lives there called the Knolls. These Knolls are all throughout the forest and Azure Span. They've made this their home. Some Knolls with strange magic that we're going to find out what exactly that's about. Snow Knolls, or as I call them, the Snolls.
Oh, I love the Knolls.
Up in the winter area, and then some regular Knolls that are just going to be around the forest area. So then we go into the big open tundra
Hug your head,
where
babies.
we meet our second group, the Tuskar.
It's going to be really neat to explore their culture.
Oh, those
And
are gonna
kids
be an allied
adorable.
race, probably.
I absolutely love the Tuskar.
I hope so. They're fun
Honestly,
looking.
all my downtime's probably just me hanging out with the Tuskar.
So it's been a little while since you've seen them. We remember the Tuskar from Wrath of the Lich King. They're also getting a nice, cool upres for their models, along with expanding their
Tuskar.
culture. So there are going to be male Tuskar, female Tuskar,
Tuskar
kids.
do use
so
the
we're going
Pandaren
to fight
skeleton,
alongside them,
so
which
it's possible
includes
allied
help
race.
from a certain group of dragons, the Blue Dragons. We're going to follow the story of Kalagos, our blue dragon buddy from the Kieran
Oh,
tour,
look at the little
and
tough
he's going to
card.
be adventuring into Syndicus' archives. It's a giant
these little
zone.
ones
We're
just
gonna
sealed
a lot
the
of
deal.
surprises. When we're done there,
Tally's
we head
probably
over
freaking out about
to
him.
Aldraszus.
Oh, probably.
It's really incredible because you will be going through some
Hey,
of the previous
Calliga's got a new
zones and
skin.
seeing a lot of
That's
ruins.
that's on the bingo
for
card.
That's on the bingo card. Buildings. But
Thinking
when
that.
you get to Thaldraszus,
That's
everything
emo
is perfectly
Caligos.
intact. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It is the seat of power for all five.
If you look at the
dragonflights
sea, you know who's
and
lives in that zone.
home of the dragons. It feels that way with the huge vertical mountains. We've got these great cave systems where you may end up finding little dragon hordes.
My favorite dragonflight right now is the Bronze. They've got a really cool area in
Well, I
Thaldraszus,
guess I'm
and
wrong.
their magic is time.
The
There's
Bronze are
so
in
many cool
Thaldraszus.
story hooks that we could dig into there. There's so many cool gameplay options, and we have a little bit of an adventure for players. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh,
We
oh,
really
this
wanted
is
it to
the Sands
feel
of
like the
Time.
old stomping grounds. One of the really cool features is going to be the main city and player hub for this expansion, Valdrakken. It is a culmination of all of the dragons'
get a
efforts
new-
to put
Hey,
together
man,
what
it's
the
not
city would look
Dalaran!
like. So we ended up having a bunch of really fun small vignettes where you see that the blue dragonflight is hosting a public library, and the red and green dragonflights both have their own separate gardens. We'll also have some convenience services for players, including an auction house.
Oh my God!
Which will be really nice if you're looking for more exotic wares. The thing that really sold me on Thaldraszus was the initial concept art we got of Tierhold.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And this is a 10,000-year-old
Oh.
Titan technological marvel.
Fifth.
Thank God.
Tierhold has these
Is
awesome
Green Dragon?
aqueducts that actually come out from the structure all the way to the city across the valley. And in the cinematic, there's just this amazing shot where you see Alexstrasza swoop under one of them, and there's splashes of water cresting across her wings. So when players are flying around themselves, they get to have their Alexstrasza moment. What an incredible place and filled
Oh,
with
man.
so much history.
Tierhold was built by Tyr. He was a Titan Keeper back in the day who helped the Aspects fight Galakrond. And when they settled on the Dragon Isles, he built this facility. And even though Tyr's gone, the dragons have held him in reverence. But that was 10,000 years ago, and they've let the Titans maintain the place. An incredible amount of history has happened since then. Flights have been nearly wiped out. There have been invasions, betrayals. Aspects have died. And these are the kind of things that leave marks on a society. So now they're all back here, and they're all here together.
As we were designing the zone and the city itself, we're trying to figure out, how do we tell those stories at the same time as making sure that this is a really convenient place for players to go and, go shopping, as they tend to do.
Wait for
So
it.
much adventuring happening on the Dragon Isles.
It's so cool.
As a player, you probably don't have your own dragon wings. You are going to learn the art of dragon riding.
It's so vertical, and I'm just excited to dive off the tops of towers and swoop under things.
It's actually one of the things that we're about to learn about next.
I fucking love it. Dude, I love the fact that they designed around
Hi,
flying.
I'm Andy.
They designed with flying as a part of the
to
system.
you guys today about the Drakthir Evoker, our new race and class coming in Dragonflight.
We're here to talk about not only the Evoker, but also dragon riding, which is our exciting expression into the exploration of the Dragon Isles.
We knew with a dragon-themed expansion, we wanted to let you play a dragon. Not a big dragon, Alexstrasza size. That'd be tough to fit into raids. I'm sorry, Jake.
Okay.
I know.
Fine.
But a draconic humanoid. So the Drakthir, created by Neltharion.
And like our other hero
Carter's already
classes, you
taking
get
names.
to choose if you want to start on the Horde or Alliance side.
I have
on your
Tiamat.
creation.
I have Tiamat.
Let's talk a
That's
little
what
bit about
matters.
The Evoker, the class they can be. What's unique about it is because the Drakthir are created by an aspect.
Oh,
they
you
have the
asshole.
ability to wield the magic
You
of all five
asshole.
dragonflights. So Evokers can
I'll
take
be
advantage
happy
of red
to
magic,
free it
blue
up for the
magic,
right
and bronze
price.
magic.
And to show that, we created a visual, what we call a prismatic
You
effect.
motherfucker.
Wow.
Prismatic effect is basically color
Damn.
of all their energy as they channel it into
No
whatever
Nez
spell
options.
they
I
cast.
feel left
You
out.
have a
Nicely
magic spell called
played.
Pyre. So when you shoot it out of your mouth, it twirls in the air
Of course I'll
with
give it
all
to
five
you.
of the Dragonflight's magic as it turns into the
I
red
did that
spell,
for
starts
someone.
landing on your
I did that for
enemies and
someone with
exploding and
Classic.
hopefully burning
I was
them.
on, he was at work. I'm like, I'll save your
Getting
name
that
and
vibe
then
across
get on.
that
I'll
they
make
use all
or,
five
I'll
was really
delete the
important
two
to
and
us.
whatever.
But we did want to make sure that each
Oh, that's so
specialization
funny.
focused
Yeah,
on two.
just hold it for me. That was really funny. Because I did get on and try to get that name and it was taken. I was like, the fuck?
Mostly focuses on red and blue magic. Red being very fast and explosive,
First one I
burning
grabbed.
everything with fire. whereas blue is more focused and overwhelming. You can shoot a beam of energy out of your mouth to disintegrate one single enemy.
I do like Heart of
There's a
Distraught.
healer spec called Preservation. The healer spec is going to focus mostly
you'll
on your
notice I
green
grabbed
and your
three of
bronze magic.
myself.
So your green
I
is
want-
going to be evocative
Yeah,
of the Emerald
option.
Dream, your growth and your nurturing spells. And then you have your bronze
Jet was
magic,
the only
which is going to
one.
be more timey-wimey. So you get to heal a wound faster.
So in addition to the visuals and the animation,
I don't think I have enough
feel very
slots
powerful,
for
we really
Nez
wanted the player to have a
Drake
physical
or
connection
Nez
to the
Drak or
we
anything
have
like
a
that.
new type of spell called
Zimdra.
where
I
when
reserve
you
the name of my
actually hold
favorite
down the
dragon
button
from
on your
MTG.
keyboard, it charges up the spell. The longer you charge it up, it might do
Grab
more
it fast, Nez.
damage or hit more targets depending on the spell.
Icy
It
Dormant.
gives you this really physical
Nope.
connection and control.
No,
It's
I
new for
know.
World of Warcraft, and I think is feeling
Yeah.
really
Oh.
good.
We have some great
Already
animations.
Alstria.
that
Is it
you
is
can
it
do.
Niv Mizzet?
You feel
No,
the physical
Niv
when
Mizzet's
you're casting your
second.
spells.
You
My
can
favorite
actually
dragon from
fly
MTG
around the
was
battlefield
Ugin.
and cast while you're flying.
Raining
Uggin's
fire
pretty
and
cool.
death from above. It's great.
Oh, wow, they have it
In addition
empowered
to the gameplay,
spells.
though, another part of feeling
Funky.
iconic is looking like a dragon.
That'll
You talk about
bring
dragons
some
breathing
back to
fire, but you know what's
decisions.
actually fire?
What's actually
Mobile
customizations.
casting. Oh, cards
But no,
are
they're
sold.
really, really
They're
great.
awesome.
Because you have both your draconic form and your humanoid form. And the customization options for both of them are amazing.
They're very good.
What about color? Just tell me you
tell
can
us about the
change
colors.
color.
You can do a lot of matching. So your Visage form can have scales that are the same color as your Drakthir form.
Oh, so
But my
it's
favorite,
a
super
Worgen-esque
favorite part
system.
of customization
Yeah.
for the Visage form, hair.
Yeah.
Because I can actually do this in game.
Yeah.
The tech is here.
We finally did it.
As players make their way through each of the areas of the Dragon Isles, they'll partner up with the Dragonflights to move through the air as they've never done before. You'll notice I did not say flying because flight has a very specific meaning for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it does.
And we're talking about something new called dragon riding.
And as the players are honing their dragon riding skills, they're going to get to see all new animations that go along with the different look and feel of the drakes.
We're aiming to shake
I'm
up
being quiet
movement
right now,
with this
but
new
that's
system,
because
providing players
I
with a
like
deeper
it.
immersion with forces like momentum and gravity.
We knew that for Dragonflight, we were going to have the opportunity to show players a whole new set of Dragon Isle drakes, completely unique from all the other things they've seen in World of Warcraft. And so we wanted to come up with a movement system that would add that sense of physics, weight, and gravity, like you were mentioning. We knew it was going to take a huge team effort, not just animation, but it was going to take effects. It was going to take the
They
engineering
have a
team.
lot more
who
here than
we
they did
rely
at
on heavily,
Shadowlands.
and that combined with some new
So,
animations really helps to lend
how
that feeling of
far?
physics as you move through the air.
How far,
in ways
guys?
that you haven't
Does
done
this
before.
mean if you
And
go
the icing
into
on the
like
cake
a
is gonna be
dive
some
and you
really
don't pull
cool
up in
effects
time, you can
that
take
we've added on
splatter
top of all
damage?
of that.
That's
For example,
awesome.
when you start hitting maximum velocity, you're going to see contrails coming off the edges of the wings.
Abort,
and then
abort,
as
pull
you
up,
do your
pull up.
rolls and
Ah,
spirals,
oh,
you build up more and more speed. There's going to
Wait,
be
what do
some
you
screen
hope?
effects
What did I miss?
on the display to indicate that you're
I hope
reaching
that
maximum
since we have that dive
velocities, which
mechanic
really
with the
adds to
velocity,
overall kind of
that you
immersion
can
and
take
sense
fall
of
damage if you don't
reality.
pull up in time.
As players make their way through the Dragon
Like there.
Isles, they'll
If
discover
you don't
new
pull up,
cosmetic
he should take
options
damage
to
from hitting the
fine-tune
ground.
their Dragon Isle Drake's
Smack.
appearances. Things like snoots,
And they need to call it
horns,
splatter.
tails, elusive Dragon Isle Drake armor, and more.
Can I have spikes?
I doubt they do that just
Okay.
because it would be a big
we want
feel
to
bad,
provide
but it
players
is really
with
funny.
all new skills to play with, as those who can use their momentum well can reach higher and higher heights and bring on new, more difficult challenges.
Okay,
You just have so many new gorgeous options to choose from, and
I
I'm
really
just
want to
so
see
excited for all
the
of them.
I'm excited for the whole thing.
armor
it's been a lot
for
of
the
fun to work
drakes
on,
and the
but
mounts
I can't wait
be
to
achievement
actually
tied,
get in
like the
game,
Legion
play it
weapon.
with you guys.
Very
I
nice.
can't wait to fly around Dragon Isles. It's gonna be great.
Like if
Next
you
up,
see
you're
somebody
going to hear
with like a
about the talent
certain
revamp and the UI
dressing on the
changes coming
dragon's
in
head, like a helmet or something,
go,
like
here
you
it
know
is,
that they
here
did
it is.
AOTC or
Hello, my name is
certain
Brian.
rating or Mythic Plus level.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We are very excited to share your
I think they gotta be
final
careful
version of the WoW HUD UI.
not to tie it to
It is also
anything
time
too
for a
crazy,
major
though.
revamp to talents and specialization.
But-
Alright, this is
I have a
the
big
big
question
this is the
for
big
you.
thing here.
How long do you think it took for us to finally revamp the WoW HUD?
My guess is like 15 years.
Close, 18 years.
18 years.
Wow.
You know, technology has changed a lot since we made the UI back in 2004. Now you have like bigger monitors, and us, we have better dev tools to work with. So it makes sense to have the
I'm
revamp
not
right
going
now.
to say
Also,
what
if
I
you look
think
at the game
right
today, the art evolved beautifully over the years.
But
and if you look at the HUD,
MMO
the HUD
champion,
looks like
Twitter,
frozen
and other
time.
forums
So when we
are
approached
going to
this,
have a
we wanted to
field day.
create a layout
when none of
experience
these
that
people
players
were
could
working
customize,
as
move
professionals.
things around, adjust it to fit their needs.
Add-ons today.
I think it might have been
offer
there.
Player customization.
The downside is that not everybody uses them. It's about time that everybody has the opportunity to use them, that they become a part of the base UI.
Yeah, and we are working very closely with our user research team to make sure we are hitting the goals that our player needs.
It allowed us to add new functionality, to improve accessibility in a lot of areas, and on top of that, we are going to be improving the art.
Yeah, so the art update, it's a big part of this project. The UI that we have today has a lot of charm and personality, and players have been using that for 18 years. So with that in mind, we want to respect the
used it
players
for
who
2
really like
years,
the current UI, but do a modern take to it, removing the clutter and giving more visibility for your gameplay. So the new minimap, it looks bigger, and the health bar is also much bigger. If you look at the action bars and the bottom menus, they have less health frames, and it can really open up your gameplay, so you don't have a lot of your UI in front of you. And of course, we want to find iconic pieces from the current HUD, but we want to bring it back in a nice way. So we for sure updating the Griffins. They look so nice now. And the Horde, don't worry, we got you. We're gonna have your version as well. So let's talk about the edit mode.
We are putting a mode in that will let players move various HUD elements around on the screen.
So I'm able to move the mini-map, say, from the right corner all the way over to the left corner. Or if I want to bring my action bars from the bottom and kind of put them more in the center by my character, those are all things that I'll be able to do?
Absolutely.
So
And
basically
each of
move
those different
anything,
components
but
will have
in-game.
various sets
Yep, that's what I said.
of options
Are
that
they
you'll be
gonna
able
get
to
adding
royalties
move
to
anything.
They'll be able
add-on
to save it,
developers?
edit it, copy it, name it. Also, it'll remember which spec you're in. So if you're someone who jumps around a lot, as you switch, it will switch to whatever HUD layout you have for that spec.
This is an ongoing project. We're gonna keep working on it. So we really want to hear back from you.
A project that we're all excited about that we've been collaborating a lot on is something that's pretty UI intensive, and that's the talent system.
It hadn't changed in a long time, like you said before. And we really started with, how can we have players have more choice over what their character has?
As you level up, we give you a new spell or a new ability,
saying it.
something
It's
that
also
kind of makes
bartender.
you stronger, but it's,
You know,
it's determined by the designers. We
So
decide
is
the
bartender
order.
going to get
Yeah,
like
we
a
started looking for
cut
a
of the
system that
subs
would
now?
give players a much wider set of options.
And after looking at all those things, what we really returned back to was the idea of trees.
I wonder
It's
if this
actually
is a
two
way that they're
trees. We
gonna
have a
save
class
some
tree
of
that offers
the
different class utility, and then we have a spec tree
legendary
that
talents or
is
bring back
focused
some of
on
the Legion
performing your
abilities
role, whether
or
that's damage,
the
take, or healing.
Can I just jump in
covenant
and say
abilities.
that I personally am super excited about having trees come back. There's a big nostalgia hit for me.
As we said, we have these two trees because we feel like picking a specialization is a really important part of your World of Warcraft character now.
That
And
is
so
a
we
long
wanna make
damn
sure
tree.
that when you choose that, it kind of affects
Yeah,
the tree
which
in some
means-
way.
Yeah, as soon
How
as
are
you
you
open your
getting the
talent tree, you'll see
points?
something new.
And are you gonna
the
be able to
class side
max
will
them
have
all out,
some
or is it gonna
abilities
be
filled out for
limited?
free, just kind of
I think
starting
we
you
should-
I
off
hope it's not a
in that
grind for
spec
the
you've
points.
chosen.
Making
And you'll have
choices,
your first
man.
point to spend in the class tree,
I'm
which
guessing
could be
it's going to be
something
like
related
maybe
to
1
that
point
spec or
per
role, or it could
level,
be
and you have
something
to
from
pick
elsewhere in
which
the
ones to
class.
put them
There's
into.
a lot
I'm
of,
guessing you can't
things that we
max
could
them all
do
out
here,
because
and
otherwise,
part of
why
that
would
is
you have it?
encouraging
Here,
players
there's
to
that.
perhaps
Bingo.
make combinations that they've never really been able to see in the game before. This is an opportunity to put a lot more art and fantasy in the actual talent UI itself.
Oh,
We
you can
have
swap
seen
the
that a
okay.
lot through most recent expansions.
None of the
but not
leaks
the
were
base
fake,
UI.
and
We
everyone
want
was
you to
like,
be
"Ah,
able
it's
to tinker
fake."
with it. You know, we want you to
Look,
be
there's
able to
Convoke
make a
right
lot
there.
of changes at a lot of times and not necessarily have to commit. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into.
Oh,
and
they're
so
gonna give
one of the
Rusted
things
Jews
that
the
we'll be
option of
preserving
Tree of
is the
Life or
ability to change
Convoke.
these
Oof.
talents at the same kind of
Like I
frequency
said,
that you
meaningful
do now.
choices.
Yeah, the old school players,
that,
when
you're
you
gonna
see
have to give up
trees
this.
time, just think, yeah, I'll go
See, I
from my
like
raid
that.
night to my arena
I do
match
too.
and figure out what I think is the best for both of those.
And that's a process we want to make really fluid. So we're building a save load feature that lets you create your build, name it, save it,
Which
and
is
then
going to
load it
require
up
some
very
kind of
quickly
talent
and freely.
sets.
Talents were really about the breadth of options. We've made all these different cool things over the years, but when are they at their
Oh, they have
coolest?
the-
It's when
the
players
save
can hold the
talents.
building blocks of
Oh,
what they make up
yes.
their class, their
Yep,
spec, and
exactly.
put them
Talent
together
sets.
in a way that works for them.
So these are really
Yep.
cool
Oh, okay.
features that we've been working
If only we had
hard
that
on.
functionality
We're very
now.
excited
Oh, yeah,
about
we-
them, and it's just an early preview of the things
Would
we're
be an
doing.
add-on.
We can't wait
No.
to see the reaction that you have to them, and please reach out to us and let us know.
Yeah, but it's a lot more
your thoughts on them.
important whenever you're
And next
doing
up,
that
we're
many
gonna talk
different
about
talents
Professions and Dragonflight.
futzing around with a bunch of
Absolutely,
different stuff
no
like that.
question. No doubt. That's what I was saying. When we saw that tree, I'm like, you
Profession
switch.
revamp.
You're gonna have to have presets.
And I'm Eric.
I
and
wish
we're gonna
that
talk
was a
about our
thing
plans
for
for
Classic,
professions
if I'm
in
honest.
Dragonflight. Professions have been a staple of World of Warcraft forever, and they've seen lots
Oh,
of.
dude, I already love this. This is already longer than the initial announcement.
Is part of the profession. And figure out how to make them part of your identity.
Oh, that's a cool
So-
summoning stone back
We
there.
really want to make
I
sure
dig it.
that professions feel fun and relevant.
They
across all
haven't
levels.
shared anything about what
That brings
they're
us
planning
to
for a
our first
power
update,
progression
something that we're
system
calling
other than the
crafting
talent
orders.
rework.
That's
If
true.
you wanna
They
have
haven't.
something
I
crafted
think that's
for
what it's
you,
going to
you
be.
don't
They were
have
saying
the
is
skill
they're
or
going to front load it and
do
just
it
make
for
it the talent
yourself.
system.
You can have it crafted through a crafting order.
Which
I
means
just makes you wonder about
Browse
tier
any
sets
of the
and
recipes
any
that can be
legendary
crafted,
planning
pick the
or
one you
anything
want
like that.
yourself,
I
and
am
then you
okay
include some
with
or
everything
all
we've
of
had
the
since Legion of
reagents
having
needed
an
for the
expansion with
recipe,
no
including
legendaries.
ones that only you can get your hands on. You can find someone in
I'd be
person
fine
to
with
do
them
it
going.
in front of you for you.
Good.
I'm okay
Or
with
you can
no,
also
with
go
no
to an
legendary. I
NPC
want some
using
form
the
of
auction house
borrowed power.
interface.
I want
Send
something that
If you're
changes
doing
up my,
this,
and they
you
haven't
can
talked
pick,
about
do
it
you
yet.
want
And that may
send
be
it
because
to
they just
anyone
haven't figured
from
it
a
out yet.
public
But
order,
I want
I would
something.
love
or
for
you
tier
want
sets
this
to
like to a
continue.
guild,
Like they brought them
or
back.
to a
I
specific
think
other
they
player.
work.
Maybe it's a
I
friend who
think
you'll be able to craft
they
together
could have
very
done the
well for you.
creation
If
catalyst
you
a little
are
bit
really
different,
dedicated
but
to your
something like
craft,
that
you're
going
gonna do the best
forward,
of
I
what
think
you do.
worked.
One of the coolest things about this is the item you had crafted
Oh, that's
can also be
cool.
soul bound.
You can have it
In
to
the
where
past,
it's,
you could only get your
guild
hands
work
on
order.
crafted soul bound
I like
items
the
by
idea of
having
guild
that
work
profession
orders.
yourself.
Oh,
Now,
that's
anyone
fun.
can have
Or
them crafted,
community. I wonder if there'll
which
be
is
a
really
community
neat, and
work
really
order.
That's the
expands
trick, is for
the
mega
number of
guilds that
items
not
that we
work
can
as well.
provide that are really powerful because everyone can have them.
I mean, it's gonna
But
make
you
me
can
want to have an
also-
alt and all the other sister guilds.
Also really cool because
But you also can send it to a specific person,
building
so
your
you
player
can.
base.
so
People are going to come back to
if
you
it's a
to
bind
get
on
certain items.
pickup,
Maybe
you
you're the
can
best at
craft.
making it,
You
or
can
you
use
always
the
find
work.
the
They're
lowest
not doing
price.
stat
You're also
squish.
going to be leveling up your
Yeah.
profession. Is going to be really great.
So the first
I mean, I don't
time
want them
you
to
go to
design around
craft, you're gonna notice a lot of different things,
about.
but probably
So
the
that
biggest
armor
is the
kind of
introduction of
confirmed
quality.
that we're not
both
getting a
for your
stat
crafted
squish.
items and your gathered reagents.
I'm okay with that
Quality
too.
works in a pretty simple way. If you craft something that's a higher quality,
I'm
it's
okay
just
with
going to be better. For a piece of gear, that probably means a higher item level. If it's, for instance, a potion, that might mean a more powerful effect at a higher quality.
And we're doing
I
a lot
don't
of
like
things
that they're
in the
talking
UI.
to each
We've
other.
Put a lot of work
I know, it's
into it
weird.
to make sure that
Because
the
like
professions
that
feel
person knows
really
more about
special
it
and unique.
And
than
another thing you
anyone.
might
You know,
notice
like
in the crafting
you
UI
know,
that's
vast majority of
new
the talk to me.
is the introduction
You know,
of
Yeah.
stats.
I'm the one who wants to know.
It's really weird.
Professions,
Look
both
me in the eye while you
crafting and
blow
gathering.
my
And this is
mind.
another sort of major input into quality. Probably the
Just ask them to
biggest
make eye
source
contact while
of
they
your
blow
ability
you.
to craft items at a higher quality is through crafting specializations. We've had crafting specializations in
I
the
got nothing.
past, as far back as original World of Warcraft. With Dragonflight, you can go out and earn specialization points in a whole bunch of different ways. So maybe you find an old book on a bookshelf in a ruin
Oh, they're
somewhere,
bringing those
or a hermit
back.
in a cave who can teach you a
Time
little
to
bit about your
clock
profession.
meeting and see if
So
I
let's
actually
say
have
you're
to
a
attend it.
blacksmith. You might decide that first you want to become an armor smith. And the more points you spend in armor smithing,
Oh my
the better
God.
you're going to get at crafting all armor.
This also means
Specialization?
that if you specialize one way, other people in your guild may specialize in a completely different path. So this means that your guild
Oh
can
my
have
God.
several top blacksmiths, and everybody's providing something
crap.
unique
Oh my
and
God.
invaluable
to the team. Which
All right,
is
you kids have fun.
So that reminds me of
Then I gotta go pay the
another
bills.
update.
Dude, this is
We're
nuts.
adding crafting tables to all the different
2023.
We're going to take those, we're gonna put
2023.
them all in the main city of Valdrakken.
Telling you right now,
And you're gonna
quarter
go in
two,
there and you're gonna
2023.
see all the different players crafting their items at their cool crafting tables.
2023.
Yeah, it means you're going to walk into the city and you're going to see like all these alchemists huddled over here, and you're going to see all these blacksmiths over by the forge. There will be other players filling orders or grabbing orders. There's going to be a whole new crafting area that's going to make you feel really part of the world.
It just seems like a much more lively area than it has in the past.
What I'm most excited about, though, is the gear. We're introducing new types of gear for every profession, and when you go to, say, mine and node, you're actually going to just switch into that gear. It's going to be really great.
That's
You're not
fun.
going to have to carry that stuff around in your
I wonder what
pocket.
that's going to do for
It's actually
sharding
gonna
for
be
the main
dedicated
zone.
slots for each of your pieces. But I'm a numbers guy. I love progressing. All pieces of profession gear will have
Okay,
those
that's
special
cool.
stats that we mentioned before on them. And as you get your hands on better versions of the gear, it's really going to help you get better at your profession.
I love it.
Thank
Give
you
us more
for
bag
tuning in
slots.
to the Dragonflight Deep Dive.
You've heard a lot about the content and changes coming in Dragonflight, and we've got a lot more in store in the coming months.
Until then,
If you're
We
cutting
need to
to
itemize for
camera,
crafting.
cut to the
That's
one you're
actually kind
looking
of
at.
cool. And as long as none of it's like tied to PvP or rating or Mythic Plus, like you can go and be a top crafter by just doing crafting, I am all for it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think that's the big thing, that crafting should stay with crafting. I don't want to have to go PvP just to get the top recipe or whatever.
Like if I can get a gem-studded pickaxe for getting cutting edge, sure, cool. Just make it cosmetic at that point.
Exactly.
So from the sounds of it, it's going to be like if you've got two blacksmiths or whatever, like Icy can forge the best armor in the game, but they're actually going to make weapons being crafted, not complete crap.
Right. So it'll basically, it sounds like it's going to be broken up like they do it now, to where like Icy could be the best helmet crafter, and like he could be the best armor smith and the best
It'll
helmet
always
armor
Icy,
smith, where somebody else could do shoulders and chest and legs and etc. I imagine they're going to break it up like that.
Well, historically, the armor smiths are broken up by armor class, like mail or plate.
Right. I'm saying they'll probably continue with what they're doing, like they did with this expansion, where with the base items for the legendaries is what I'm expecting, but I could be wrong, obviously.
It's going to be interesting to see how exactly they go with it, and the fact that they're going to have specializations within each crafting class, and then the different stats on it as well. It may be that you specialize in all armor crafting, but whatever particular stats that you build toward help doing different types of armor, things like that.
Yeah, what I imagine it's going to be, from the sounds of it, again, theorizing here, it'll probably be like armor smiths will be able to make armor for less materials and at a higher item level, and then once you go to like helmet or shoulders, they'll be able to make a better version of it still for even less mats, or maybe more mats required for it, but a higher item level.
Well, maybe it has to do with the stat budget of the item, or maybe, you know, like main versus tertiary, secondary, tertiary.
Right. Or eventually, you know, maybe they'll be able to make an item with a socket on it.
I saw quality of like crafting materials, and I'm curious how that's gonna work. Like, do you pick up an herb and you've got like a 1 in 5 shot of it being 5-star, like 5 of 5, or
unless you are a highly skilled herbalist.
that would, yeah.
I don't know.
That's it.
Next expansion's gonna be fucking wild in terms of raid prep.
So, Ziv went ahead and looked it up. It looks like they're expecting this expansion to be out in 7 months.
Yep.
What?
The
November.
original leak that came with the Evoker class and everything said release in November of 2023. Or
No
2022.
shot. They're planning another We haven't even finished this season. They're planning another. How long?
No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. No, that makes sense because this season. So seasons are generally 3.5 to 4 months long, and that would put the season 4 start around the end of June, beginning of July.
Yeah.
And then if it's another
and then a
3.5,
1
4
month
months, then
pre-patch.
it's gonna be pre-patch. Yep.
Yeah.
So that does go in line with November. I didn't think they would. I think they may push it to early winter of 2023, but I wouldn't be surprised if they release it in November just to get content out sooner.
It lines up with their Black Friday sales, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
And also, to be fair with it as well, that was a lot of. That seemed like there was a lot of completed assets that we.
Yeah, that
we saw
all
there.
looked polished. None of that looked rough.
That's a good
Well, they gotta
point.
be
Yeah.
doing something all this time.
Dude,
Sure shit wasn't done on Shadowlands, but with what
Right.
I've seen and what they've done, as long as they can deliver with what they've done, I'm okay with it.
I would much rather that they delay it another couple months and we have a solid expansion rather than being like, ah, shit, content, go.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to do how many talent trees?
I feel like that this is going to come out in the time they said, because look how fast they've accelerated things right now. Like, people's gear scores are going through the roof right now. The next, the Mythic Plus raids are, going to have, it's all exploding right now. If they were worried about, the timetable or being able to deliver on that deadline, they would not be putting people on the roller coaster fast track.
That's
a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that timeline, even though it wasn't announced on here with the original leak, I think that's believable.
I could see anywhere from November to like February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
November will be their sweet spot. I think that'll be if they're trying to hit their sales numbers or whatever. Then the Black Friday time is usually where it is, which I hate as somebody who likes to push in because I hate trying to balance my game time with family obligations.
It's a rough spot because even though it's good for sales, it's really bad for
playtime.
Well, it's bad for them as far because when you release it late November, then that means the first tier of rating is going to be opening up right around the Christmas holidays.
Well, yeah, look at Castle Nathria.
Yeah, well, exactly, and it was awful for the actual employees because they've got to be there on hand during all that opening.
Right.
Either that or they stagger the raid even further out.
Wouldn't be opposed to that, honestly.
I'm wondering
there are a lot of
if,
people who would be.
Yeah. No, there's
I'm
definitely a lot
wondering
of
if they're
people that
going
would
to
be.
put the new class in with the pre-patch.
Definitely. They always
Yeah.
put new class stuff in.
They have every time before.
The only thing I wonder about is because this new class is going to be the new class starts in a whole new zone, and the new zone is part of the Dragon Isles.
Right. That's why I'm wondering.
It will probably be like Demon Hunters, where they have a section of like the new zone just for the intro experience, and then when you do the new expansion content, instead of starting off at like quest number 1, you're at like quest number 15.
So I skipped the beginning of MOP. Did monks have pre-patch availability?
Yes, and monks did they had
Yeah, they had their own little island.
No, well, monks didn't have their own island. Pandarans had their own island.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was the
that's right,
difference.
that's right.
The Pandaren weren't released here in the pre-patch. It was just the class was, but you could level the class
Right,
with anything.
in any area. Right, that's right. Okay.
I don't know.
So how many people are legitimately interested in maining the new class?
I want to see more.
I mean, there are a lot of people who are interested because it looks cool, but I can tell you right now, it's going to depend on how it plays. I've been looking to get into a ranged class for a really long time, and none of the current ranged classes have really caught my attention. So I'm interested because I want to see what they do with it.
I am legit interested in the healing aspect of it.
Oh yeah, no, I want to check out the healing.
It's basically looking at what it kind of does is like AoE healing like a druid, and then monk single target healing and some other stuff. Just kind of looking at the simple thing that they showed. It only showed off like 2 or 3 spells.
So
yeah, but sorry, go ahead, Evi.
I definitely want to check it out. Depending on how it plays, I think that's a pretty solid guess that I'm going to swap. I've wanted a dragon race for so long that if it plays well, I'm definitely swapping.
I'll make one and probably eventually level 1, but I won't main it because I have no destined to heal or range again.
The other thing I think is going to balance everybody's desire to swap is the new talents and how they swap it out, because the example they showed with the Resto Druid, that was Convoke the Spirit's icon. I don't know if it was the spell because it had the tooltip for the Tree of Life. If they're putting choices like that in, that's going to get a lot of attention for people's mains.
Yeah, they may bring Covenant aspects, like abilities, into the talent tree.
Well, that's I think where Card was asking about borrowed power and things like that. What I think they're going to do when they revamp this is that they're going to fold in a bunch of the Covenant abilities, the like Azerite abilities that we used to have, Legion legendary abilities, all that kind of stuff. You fold all that into the talent trees, and it makes things a lot more interesting because then you have a lot of really unique, powerful abilities from all these different places that they designed in the past that you can bring together, and then you just have a choice between it. You want to, and that adds a lot of that dynamic to it.
They just released what tier sets look like.
What?
What? Where?
I think it would be fun if you guys
looks
could imagine a healer that can use Convoke the
Oh,
Spirit
those
to
are
heal
incredible.
spells.
Holy shit.
What were you saying, Gav? I'm sorry.
I said, imagine if you could mix Convoke the Spirits with healing. So, like, healers could be like, it's a really bad part of the fight, and they hit Convoke the Spirits and cast, like, a random variety of heal spells that just
kinda let
spam all
down.
over the place.
Look
Those
fucking
tier sets
insane,
are,
dude.
are great.
Those are gorgeous.
The earth plate
you link
looking
it?
one.
Yeah,
It's in
trade chat.
trade chat.
Trades, yeah.
Okay, these are
The earth, because those
that's
are all
fucking
elemental, like
nuts,
fire, water, earth, and air. The fire or the earth plate armor looks fucking insane, as does
Oh,
the
those
fire
are
one.
Gorgeous.
I wouldn't- Are these different versions like LFR, normal, mythic, heroic, or is this the
No.
different classes, each one repping a different?
It's
It
all
looks like-
13 classes.
Is it for
Look, male gets 2 new dresses.
for? Yeah, I
That's
guess
13.
it is 13.
So I think
Hey.
what they're going by is
So that far
dragon
red
aspect.
one
So each
is
tier
monk.
set can be either of these colors. It's just this is what this tier set looks in red, and then this is the blue color of a different set, and this is the time color of another set.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be my guess, yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Are the colors the different?
I think the colors are the different
Difficulties.
aspects, and I think
It may be the tier levels then. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it'll be that, but who knows? It could be.
So I'm betting that the first one then is Death Knight. That looks very Death Knighty.
No,
because it
if
doesn't.
you look at it,
The red is leather because it's got Demon Hunter on the far right.
No, they're
Yeah,
not all
but
leather.
blue
Those are two cloth sets. This isn't done by So you got, I think it's Death Knight, Priest.
No, this is done by Armor Set.
Warlock maybe, and then Demon Hunter. Then you've got. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I would call that one. The first blue one looks like warrior to me.
That was gonna be
I think it's either that one's warrior or the third yellow one is warrior.
The third
It's
yellow
war-
one to me is paladin.
It might be. It might be paladin. Those are paladin and warrior.
These are
Some
separated by
alternate,
armor sets.
Yep. Well, the white one there has the cloth draping down with the symbols on it from the shoulders and the belt.
Oh, that's true. That could be Paladin too. I think the white
And the
one
next-
on the left might be Monk.
That's got to be monk.
The
like,
white
he's
one on
got
the left is
zabs.
monk. Yeah, for sure.
The middle white one looks like Shaman.
I think the right,
Yep.
the one on the very far right for the white one is Shaman, because it's got like the elemental, the lightning elements to it that like a lot of Shaman
Okay.
stuff does.
I was saying the middle one because of the middle could also be Hunter, I
pro-
guess.
That's probably Druid. I bet you that's Druid.
Oh, you're right. That's totally
Yep.
Druid.
That's a druid and
the
the one.
rogue, the rogue is the one on the left.
That could
So
also.
then the far right blue one, Hunter maybe?
Yep, far right blue is definitely hunter.
What's that middle blue one then? Mage?
Mage.
Yep, that has a
likely.
very magey feel to it because they
And
tend to
then-
have orbs on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't
So
forget
then-
to sign up for the beta in case you're wondering.
Is it already up?
Yeah, the beta opt-in is in the webpage.
Did you?
Dragonflight.blizzard.com.
I'm a little surprised they didn't announce like the editions. Like deluxe, whatever.
They probably. Well, that
It's
was where a
too
lot
early. I think it's too early for them to announce that stuff.
I know they announced the Shadowlands one really early. You got the mounts and pet pretty quick. Like well before the expansion was out.
They have 4 of the different models for the
So,
Drake's up.
someone in the comments, actually, it's 3 sets of different people saying in comments of what the class section's going by.
Hey, I'm signed in. Signed up. Oh, you're talking about the tier sets?
Mm-hmm.
Show the comments.
I kind of want the far left yellow one for monk, just because.
It looks like a monk
is
or
definitely
rogue.
monk.
I think it's
Oh, you know
solid
what?
monk.
What are the tier? How are the tier tokens laid out? That's probably what that is.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
exactly
you're
that.
right.
as
Male
well.
one for evoker.
The tier tokens. Let's see here.
I can.
So you have Dreadful is Death Knight, Warlock, Demon Hunter. So that's 3 of the first 4.
Yep.
Mystic is Hunter, Mage, Druid.
That doesn't match up with what we were guessing.
No, it isn't
Okay.
because one of them's gonna have 4.
Well,
And we
the
don't
one's
know
gonna have
what
to
they
be
fall
added.
into.
Paladin, Priest, Shaman.
While I think all of these are plausible, I'm
The Paladin
definitely
Priest
looking at
Shaman
these
could
as
be the bottom right, the 3. The Priest could be the one with the fur looking.
Warrior Rogue, Monk.
No, I don't think it's the tokens.
No, it's not.
No. Looking at the colors and the way they have it laid out, I imagine that the black areas, or the black and the cloth, are what the base are, and that the colors and the auras are going to be related to
The
the
level.
difficulty.
Yeah. Red is pretty normally mythic.
Yep. I could see the red or the gold being for mythic, and then
Yeah.
blue and white would be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you look
I'm
down
just
at the
hyped
bottom
for
where they
the
have
monk
it
set.
stacked up from left to right, I would believe that as LFR